Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ray Saludaris, and I'd like to welcome you to our Puna Strong Virtual Resource Fair. For this morning's session, we do have a wonderful speaker from Ahava Aina. But before we get there, I do want to talk a few little housekeeping items. First thing is that if you have any questions, we do encourage questions, and that can be typed into the chat box on our platform. If we are not able to get to your questions, don't worry. We will forward them on to our speakers, and then we'll try to get them answered and sent out as well. So with that said, I'd like you to introduce Rabbi Rachel Short, who is one of the youngest female rabbis in the world. She is the founder and president of Ahava Aina, a 501c3 nonprofit on a mission to heal the world and build a first and only intentional Jewish cultural community center in East Hawaii. Rabbi Rachel is also fortunate enough to chair the Mayor's Health and Wellness Advisory Committee and serves on the boards of Hawaii Island United Way, Hawaii Island Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster, Kilauea Hui, Interfaith Communities in Action, and the Hawaii Island community at large. So it's my pleasure to welcome Rabbi Rachel.
Yay. Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Ray. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. Very excited, very much looking forward to this virtual fair and to hearing and learning from all of the amazing speakers and community members that are going to be sharing with us. So thank you so much to Equality Hawaii for putting this wonderful gathering on and this resource fair. And Ray and I were just talking, it's awesome to think that these videos and resources are going to be available to our community for so long that they're actually going to outlive us. So really looking forward to being a part of it. Thank you for having me. I'm here today as a Puna Strong grant recipient, luckily enough, someone who and my organization who has been fortunate enough to receive funding from the County of Hawaii as well as Hawaii Community Foundation in order to help keep Puna strong and mainly to focus on the Kilauea eruption recovery. What it is, our nonprofit, our 501c3, Ahava Aina, and though we are a synagogue and we are founded in Jewish culture and tradition, we serve the Hawaii Island community at large. We were extremely active in the Kilauea eruption relief, donating blankets and things at the shelter. I personally was serving for spiritual care at the shelters and facilities, facilitating entertainment at the shelters, and a lot of other things. We were extremely involved, and we're always excited to serve the community at large. And the majority of our board and most of our congregants actually are Puna residents. So this is near and dear to my heart because I was Hapai at the time of the eruption and had to evacuate. And it's also near and dear to our organization's heart because the majority of us are Puna residents and some of us had to evacuate, some of us lost home. We were all impacted in some way. So where we were called to step up and serve our community was a need that I personally saw, and then our organization saw, and then obviously Hawaii Community Foundation and Hawaii County saw, is that the mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health needs that were caused by the Kilauea eruption were not being met. That what we all went through and what we all experienced from the Kilauea eruption was a traumatic event. No matter how we want to label it, our bodies, our minds, our spirits interpreted it that way. And I remember even talking to the people at the Red Cross shelter, and they explained that what we were dealing with this eruption was unlike any other natural disaster. Hurricane, an earthquake, a tornado, any other natural disaster that occurs, it comes in, does its damage, and it leaves. What we were faced with during the Kilauea eruption was a slow moving natural disaster where we were all in a constant state of, we don't know what's going on. Are our homes going to be here tomorrow? Is our air going to be breathable tomorrow? Am I going to have somewhere to sleep tonight? How long am I going to have to stay in this shelter? What about all my pets? There were so many moving pieces. And even still to this day, I talk to people, and we know Kilauea just started erupting again. Halima'uma'u has lava inside. And I just talked to a friend last week who was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for any of this. I just lost my house. I'm still recovering. And that is where I see the biggest need, that we had a massive traumatic experience as a collective, as a community, and we have to work to heal that. So what does that look like? What does it look like to actually come together and meet the mental, emotional, spiritual needs of our community? Because we're getting infrastructure back in place. Pohiki Road's going to come back. We're going to get the boat ramp reopened. All that construction and all that parts of it are going to happen. We're Malama the Aina. We're rebuilding. We're coming from that place. We're getting more prepared for something where this like to happen again in terms of how we can hui together, get our community together, get canned goods, get blankets, and make it so that part of it doesn't happen again. But what I see that's not happening, and I'm fortunate enough that we're going to help to make it so this doesn't happen, is what about all the stress and trauma and anxiety and pain and hardship that we experienced within that wasn't being met? Where is it been okay to say, hey, I'm not okay? This was a massive shift in my life, and we haven't had the opportunity to work through this. I haven't gotten to talk to my neighbor who lost their house as well. I haven't gotten to communicate with my brother next to me who I shared a cot and a room with for months in the shelter. When I drive down certain roads, I feel a reaction in my body because of what it was like to go through. Oh, that reminds me of having to evacuate. That reminds me of the smell. And I want to be really cautious and aware that I don't want to trigger anything for anyone, but I also truly want to bring what it is we went through to the surface so that we can heal it. Because unless we address the wound, unless we see that there's an issue, unless we create the space for healing to begin, that healing won't happen. So myself, Ahava Aina, many other Puna Strong grantees are very, very excited to be a part of this Puna Strong initiative, where we are going to help make Puna strong, not again, because we've always been strong, but we're going to continue this, and we're going to strengthen in the places that there are needs that aren't being met. So Ahava Aina is here to serve that mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, mental health and wellness need that was created by the Kilauea eruption. Now, I recognize that we all just came out of the Kilauea eruption only to have the pandemic hit, only to be addressed with coronavirus, only to have that happen. So I don't know anyone in our community, myself included, who can say, hey, I've been through this before. I know how to navigate this. We are all navigating a new world. We are all learning and figuring out how can we take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our communities and heal these wounds so that from generation to generation to generation, from Kapuna to Keiki, we feel supported and loved, and we work through this together. So Ahava Aina, our Puna Strong initiative, will be focusing on that, the mental health, physical wellness of our community. Now, what does that look like? Well, to me, it kind of looks like a pyramid, if you will, where we're going to start with a large scale reach out to everyone in the community. We're going to survey the community at large and say, what is it you need? How do you take care of yourself? What does self-care mean to you? What does self-care look like? Were you impacted mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually from the Kilauea eruption? Did you deal with that? If so, how did you deal with it? If you haven't dealt with it, how do you plan to deal with it? Or do you not know how to deal with it? So first, we're going to get that information from the community. And the plan is to host a very, very large Puna Community Health and Wellness Fair. We're looking at Saturday, December 18th, probably from about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at a community center in Puna. We're still working with Parks and Recreation to determine if that's going to be Keau or Pahoa. But the idea is to bring all of the community out for this large foundation of our pyramid to form, gather everyone together, and we're just going to kind of check in following the Kilauea eruption. How are you? Where are you at? What is it you need? Would you like to be a participant? Do you have something you can contribute? All of the fellow Puna Strong grantees are going to be invited to be a part of that as well. If they have information, if they have resources that they want to share. And our goal, our intention, the Hebrew word kavanah, our intention is really just to bring the community together and check in and say, now, where are you at since the 2018 Kilauea eruption? It's only been a few years. We've had a lot going on. How you feeling? What you doing? What can we do for you? How can we serve you? And build this foundation of our pyramid. Get these surveys out, get the community out, and see how that goes. And then from there, what I would like to see happen is this break kind of into smaller groups where we're able to see, okay, now here's the mental need, here's the emotional need, here's the physical need, here's the spiritual need. And we're able to focus and kind of get everyone individualized to focus more on whatever it is they need and start to have more events. And these would be more of a talk story session, more of groups coming together, talking about whether it be the mental, the emotional, physical, or spiritual in smaller group formats. So we're going from a very, very large community event where everybody's going to be invited to come out, check in, we find out the need, and then from there, we're going to say, okay, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. Let's come together here, let's come together here, let's come together here. And we have facilitators, social workers. The facilitators will be social workers, therapists, faith leaders, and people who are able to help address these issues and provide the support and hold space for our community in the place they need it most. So that's the center of our pyramid, is these smaller groups. And then from the smaller groups, our hope, our intention, again, our kavanah, is to identify the individuals who are in need of much more help. So you might be saying, I don't feel seen or heard or like I can safely open up about what it is I experienced in a large group setting, in a small group setting. I need one-on-one, and that's our ultimate goal. To give everyone who needs that one-on-one time with a faith leader, with a social worker, with a therapist, with a facilitator, maybe it's with electrotherapy, maybe it's essential oils, whatever path it is, that's the intention, is for everyone to get the support that they need. Because as we continue on from the Kilauea eruption, recovery and relief, like I said, that is what I see to be the biggest need. When our community is healthy and well, we're all healthy and well. And that starts with us as individuals being healthy and well. We cannot bring our best, fullest, whole selves to the table and serve our community or come together and begin to heal until we heal ourselves individually. And I don't know if there's anyone among us who can say that this eruption didn't impact them if you were a Puna resident. Whether you think the way it impacted you is big or small doesn't matter. There's still a wound. So our intention with Ahava Aina is to bring the community together to really, really, really begin to do this healing and to see and hold space for where it is we need to come together and start to grow and strengthen. The Puna Strong thing I see as, again, the foundation. Well, the work we're trying to do is to take the strength that Puna already has. Puna is strong. Puna is strong. That's how I see it. Where can we strengthen and grow on that strength that's already there? So everyone in the community is going to be invited to participate. It's going to be a large, open, fun, family-friendly event with lots of booths and vendors, and we're going to have food, and everything will be within COVID protocols at the time. We don't even know what that's going to look like, but it will happen. And then from there, like I said, we'll get more direct. Everybody's going to get the attention and the focus and the healing and the energy that they deserve and that they need, regardless of resources, regardless of whether they view it as, oh, well, I didn't lose my house, so my needs don't matter. If you have a broken leg or you have cancer, you still need healing, no matter what level you're at. So my hope is to take that stigma away, the stigma of mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health. I think us as a society are starting to do that a lot more, but I think we're only beginning, we're at the brink of that. We're at the precipice of that. It's time to grow on that foundation and truly take away the stigma. And this is a great place for our community to start. to come together and to say, okay, we made it through this. Now, how can we make it even better? And part of the way we find that out is, how are you responding right now to the fact the crater is filling up? How are we responding right now to the fact that there could be another eruption, that we just had a 6-point-something earthquake a few weeks ago? I don't know anyone who didn't go through the 2018 eruption who isn't somewhat like, what's going to happen next? We need to talk about that. We need to bring that to the open. We need to bring that into the light, because unless we share, unless we all come to connect from our heart and where we need our healing, we can't grow together. We can't recover, and we can't be as strong as Puna is strong. Puna is strong. We are a different breed of people, unlike anywhere in the world. And my hope is to bring us all together in that oneness and that love that we share, and to bring us all together towards that healing and create the space for everyone to share openly and freely, get the tools and the resources that they need, and see that mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health is vital to the health and wellness of our community and to Puna at large. So that's what Ahava Aina intends to do. That's what we're going to be working on. I love, value, cherish, welcome all feedback. So if you have an idea, a question, a comment, a concern, something I said today that jumps out at you, a way you'd like to be involved, please reach out. I know comments can go in the chat box. I would love to hear from you, and know, as we're addressing this and taking away this stigma and working on something that I see that so fully needs to be worked on, how you think you can be a part of that. What is it you need? How is it we can serve you? How is it the county can serve you? How is it your faith leaders can serve you? You know, we were all doing spiritual care in the shelters, but then as soon as the eruption stopped, that spiritual care stopped. We need that. We need someone sometimes to walk around and just say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Could you use a hug? Do you need to talk? Sometimes we don't realize we need to let go of things until we're given the opportunity to let go. So if you feel called to share something with us, please do. And please, please, please mark your calendar for Saturday, December 18th from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. for our Puna Community Health and Wellness Fair that's going to kick off this epic, amazing, life-changing mental health and wellness initiative that our community at large is going to have the opportunity to set and strengthen for generations and generations to come. I know that we're going to be better than ever before, and that Puna is strong. So thank you to Equality Hawaii for letting me be here with you today. Thank you for everyone, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Shaloha.
Oh my God, Rabbi, that was quite inspiring. That was pretty awesome.
You're amazing. Will you wait 1 second? UPS is at the door and I don't want to miss this package. Hang on just 1 second. They knocked right as I finished talking.
That was absolutely fantastic, Rabbi. I'm very inspired by the initiative that the organization is putting out. I'm excited about your upcoming function in December. There's so much going on, and so much healing that Ahava Aina is putting out, which I think is really important right now. You know, between the 2018 eruption, where it impacted so many people, you know, not just physical locations, like as you mentioned, physical, spiritual, and emotional, but also economically. People have lost their livelihoods and everything else. And then going from that right into the coronavirus, which impacted so many other people in various different ways. And to start talking about some of these things so that they can get it off of their chest, so that they can find the resources to start rebuilding, become more resilient. And I love what you said about Puna being already strong. You're right, absolutely, Puna is already strong. You know, so let's take these resources that we're learning from these sessions, you know, and strengthen the gaps that we have. That was so powerful. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
I think that is the definition of why we're doing this work. You know, to find the things that aren't as strong right now and build upon it and create resiliency and strength within our Puna community and Big Island as a whole. So again, thank you. Rabbi, thank you again for participating. And if anyone has any questions, again, put them in the chat and we will get those answered for you. Until then, feel free to poke around our exhibitor booth. You can even check out Rabbi's exhibitor booth and everyone else who's in there. Thank you guys, and we'll see you at the next session.
Aloha.